Welcome back to Joe's Tunnel Boxing. So Daniel Dubois continues his, I guess you'd call it a resurrection from those two, quits, one against Usyk and then earlier on in his career against Joyce. Everybody this time last year was talking about Dubois and saying he hasn't got the heart for it, he ain't got the guts. He comes back, wins over a last round stoppage over Jarrell Miller, and now he has stopped in 8 rounds Filip Hrgovic, previously unbeaten in 17 fights, and along the way he's picked up the IBF interim heavyweight title. Possibly Anthony Joshua's next. He's already fought Usyk, who's got the real IBF title. But there's no doubt about it. At 26, Daniel Dubois is a perfect example of a fighter who gambles early on in his career. He doesn't come through it. The quit against Joyce, I think, was forgivable because he had a busted eye socket, and that's potentially you can lose an eye over that. You can end your career. He got a lot of stick over it, a lot of flack. The quit against Usyk, it seemed to me as if he just lost his way and he kind of mentally and emotionally unravelled. But again, he's learned from it, and he came through a bit of a firestorm against Filip Hrgovic because this was a terrific heavyweight contest with both guys just standing there and landing enormous punches. I mean, Dubois is built like, the proverbial Greek statue, and Hrgovic with that sort of swagger and arrogance. He didn't look like he'd even bothered having his hair cut for this one. He came out and Daniel started off very aggressively, banging a jab in, following it up with a right hand. But the right hand was Hrgovic's favourite punch. He's a very conventional, one might also say textbook fighter. And he was finding a home for that big right hand for the first however many rounds, first 3-4 rounds. He was just pinging those right hands over the top. And they were landing flush on Daniel's jaw. And Daniel was not taking a step backwards. He was being very, very cavalier. And when he jabbed, Daniel really looked like he was dominating, but he just wanted to get in there and smash the guy up. And it was the old rock'em sock'em robots thing. And between rounds, between the first and the second round, and it was annoying to see it, but Daniel was, Don Charles, who's the head trainer, was trying to get Daniel's attention, and Daniel was looking out of the ring, I think, talking to his father. And it took Don about 15, 20 seconds to get Daniel's attention. And I'm thinking, is this a repeat of the sort of chaos we had in the Fury corner against Usyk? But Daniel, Don was saying, keep your left hand up and keep the jab going, but bring it back so that you're stopping you're stopping any counters. And he kind of, I don't know, he kind of looked to me, Daniel, like he just wanted to have a row, like he just wanted to have a good old-fashioned punch-up. He looked extremely confident, which considering that, supposedly this time last year he didn't have the bottle for it, and considering the fact that Hrgovic all week swaggered around saying this ain't even going to be my toughest fight, it seemed like suddenly the boot was on the other foot, and the one who was looking ultra-confident was Daniel Dubois, as if he couldn't be hurt. He looked like he felt he was indestructible. Now, in one of I think it was after 3 or 4 rounds, there was a cut over Hrgovic's, I think it was his right eye, and it was caused by a punch. The referee said it's caused by a punch, and it was a terrific. Another thing to motivate Daniel, is it not that he really needed it, but Hrgovic didn't stop trying. It's not like his body language wasn't particularly great, but then he never does he? He's got that sort of languid, okay, I'm here, let's get this over and done with sort of attitude, or that, at least that's what it suggests. But he was still in there trying with that right hand and still catching Daniel. But you could tell Daniel, like the 4th, 5th round, there was a few question marks hovering over Daniel's head, just like there were against Jarrell Miller. And you thought, okay, now then, Miller's Miller, but Hrgovic he's got a few more tools in the box. Let's see you do it against Hrgovic, an undefeated guy, a guy who's been fancied by many to be one of the faces of the heavyweight division. And Daniel came through those questions. He carried on punching well. There was no body work. That annoyed me. No body work really from either guy. I think there was a one left hand to the body from Hrgovic in about the 2nd or 3rd round, and that was it. And I just don't know why these guys don't punch to the body. That was the only thing I could really pick fault with in terms of Daniel's overall performance. But you can blame Hrgovic. You can say to Hrgovic, why weren't you banging to the body as well? What are you? Is it headshots only? Is there some unspoken rule? No, bang to the body. Kill the body and the head will fall, as the saying goes. But I have to say that gradually, Daniel, as the fight progressed and certainly into the seventh round, the body language of Hrgovic was becoming even more casual than usual, shall we say. But his face was starting to bust up very, very badly. And in fact, he got a really nasty cut over the left eye. So he had blood coming into both eyes. His face was all chopped up. And he just thought, Daniel can do this. Daniel, he's coming on strong here. This could be it. Well, in the eighth round, there was more of the same. Dubois hurt Hrgovic at the end of the seventh, and Hrgovic, the fight. The round ended with Hrgovic more or less standing in his corner. As he turned around, he looked really weary, and in the eighth round, he came back. He came back out, trying to sort of pep himself up, trying to get a little bit revitalized. Dubois was having none of it. Dubois jumped all over him, and then the referee stepped in, sent Dubois to the corner, a neutral corner, pulled Hrgovic over to the doctor. The doctor looked at both eyes, and Hrgovic's face was a mess. Whispered in the referee's ear, and the referee spread his arm and said, no, that's your lot. And it was all over. I think it was about a minute into the eighth round. Daniel Dubois TKOs the previously undefeated Filip Hrgovic. If you'd said a year ago Dubois was going to do that on top of stopping Jarrell Miller, not many people would have believed you. But Dubois is a very good example of someone who is not defined by learning defeats. You just shouldn't write someone off because they've had a defeat. It's like a couple of the lads today lost. Amo Williams got stopped by Shiraz. It's a bad defeat, but it needn't define your whole career. We saw Ray Ford lose a very, very close decision to Nick Ball. All right, move up to 130, go again. These are you've got to be realistic about a person's career. It's the proverbial marathon, not a sprint. And Hrgovic, I think he's 31. It's still relatively young for a heavyweight. He can come again if he wants to. But does he really want to fight? Because he's so relaxed. Relaxed is the wrong word. He gives the air of being almost disinterested a lot of the time. And you do have to wonder, does he fight because he's good at it? Or does he fight because he really wants to? I think in the case of Daniel Dubois, he fights because he really wants to. And I think he's proved that over his last two fights. So well done, Daniel Dubois. That is 4-0. 4-0 to Queensberry over Matchroom. Eddie Hearn, oh my God. If you don't like Eddie Hearn for whatever reason, you're going to have a field day. But to me, I just want to see good fights. I don't care. But yeah, terrific heavyweight battle. Terrific stuff. So any thoughts, leave them below. As always, please you leave your comments. I'll read your comments. I'll read them all. I don't get a chance now to reply to all of them. But thank you if you're making the effort to comment. And of course, subscribe to the channel if you're new. And hit the like button as well. You could hit that little like button. That'd be good. It takes a second to subscribe, so hit the subscribe button. Go on, it makes sense. And spread the word about Joe's Son of Boxing. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your time. I'll catch you later. Bye for now.